Did you know your refrigerator might actually be ruining some of your healthiest foods? It sounds crazy, right? We think of the fridge as a freshness fortress, but for certain everyday items, it's the exact opposite. You might be unknowingly destroying nutrients, flavor, and even creating potential health risks, and this is especially important if you're over 60. Stay tuned, because today, we're revealing 9 common foods that should never see the inside of your fridge, and the science behind it will surprise you. Welcome back to Senior Health Tips, where we share simple science-backed advice to help you live your healthiest, most vibrant life after 60. Now, we all love the idea of keeping our food fresh, don't we? But for some everyday items, cold storage does the opposite. It dulls flavor, ruins texture, and can significantly reduce nutritional value. For older adults, this matters a great deal. Our senses of taste and smell can naturally decline with age, so we need to get every bit of nutrition and flavor we can from our meals to make them both enjoyable and beneficial. So, let's dive into the list and transform your kitchen into a true haven of freshness. First up on our list, potatoes. They are a staple in so many kitchens, but they should never, ever be stored in the fridge. Here is why. The cold temperature of a refrigerator triggers a chemical reaction that converts the potato as starches into sugar. This process is called cold-induced sweetening. The result, when you go to cook them, they'll have a strangely sweet taste and a gritty, unpleasant texture. It can completely ruin a good mashed potato or a savory roast. But it gets worse when these sugar-heavy cold-stored potatoes are fried, roasted, or baked at high temperatures. Those excess sugars can combine with an amino acid called asparagine to form a chemical called This compound has been linked in studies to potential health risks. To avoid these, the solution is simple. Keep your potatoes in a cool, dark, and dry place, like a pantry, or a paper bag in a cabinet. And here's a pro tip. Store them away from onions. Onions release ethylene gas, which can cause your potatoes to sprout much faster. Number 2. Next on our list is a fruit often mistaken for a vegetable. The tomato. A beautiful, ripe, room temperature tomato is bursting with flavor. But putting it in the fridge is a one-way ticket to a bland, mealy disappointment. The cold temperature is the enemy of a tomato's taste. It permanently halts the activity of the enzymes that are responsible for creating its signature sweet, tangy aroma and flavor. Once those delicate flavor compounds are gone, they're gone for good. Even if you let the tomato warm up on the counter for a few hours, it will never regain that garden-fresh taste it once had. The cold also damages the cell membranes inside the tomato, which is why refrigerated tomatoes often have a mushy, watery texture. The best practice: keep your whole tomatoes at room temperature, ideally stem side down, which helps prevent moisture loss. Let them ripen on your counter and enjoy them at their absolute peak of flavor. Number 3, let's talk about 2 kitchen powerhouses: onions and garlic. While they are often used together in cooking, they share a common enemy: the humidity of the refrigerator. Storing whole, unpeeled onions and garlic in the fridge is a recipe for disaster. The moisture environment causes them to become soft, encourages mold growth, and makes them spoil much more quickly. Your fridge can also trick garlic into thinking it's winter, causing it to start sprouting right in the drawer. While sprouted garlic is perfectly safe to eat, you'll notice it has a much sharper, more bitter flavor that can overpower your dishes. The ideal storage for both whole onions and garlic is in a place with good air circulation, like a mesh bag or a wire basket, kept in a cool, dark, and dry spot. However, once you've chopped or peeled them, the rules change. Sliced onions and minced garlic should be stored in an airtight container in the fridge to maintain their freshness and prevent their potent smells from taking over everything else. Number 4 might surprise you: whole melons. This includes watermelon, cantaloupe, and honeydew. We often rush to put these heavy fruits in the fridge, but research from the USDA has shown that whole melons actually become more nutritious when left at room temperature. The study found that watermelons stored at room temperature developed up to 40% more lycopene and a staggering 139% more beta-carotene compared to their refrigerated counterparts. These are powerful antioxidants that are fantastic for your health. The cold essentially puts the brakes on the natural ripening process where these nutrients are produced. So, for the best flavor and the biggest nutritional punch, keep your whole melons on the kitchen counter. Once you cut into them, that is the time to wrap the pieces tightly and store them in the fridge to prevent bacterial growth. Number 5, the beloved avocado. It's a tricky fruit. The key here is understanding its ripening process. If you buy a hard, unripe avocado and put it straight into the fridge, you're essentially pressing the pause button on its ripening, and you might be pressing it permanently. The cold can halt the ripening process so effectively that the avocado may never soften properly or develop its creamy texture and buttery flavor, even after it is taken out. The best strategy is to let unripe avocados ripen on your countertop. Depending on their firmness, this can take a few days. Once they yield to a gentle squeeze, they are perfectly ripe. At this point, if you're not ready to eat them, you can move them into the fridge. This will extend their life for another few days, keeping them at that perfect stage of ripeness without letting them go mushy. Let's bust a huge myth with number 6. Bread. So many people think the fridge keeps bread fresh, but it actually does the complete opposite. It makes bread go stale much faster. This happens because of a process called starch retrogradation. The cool, damp air inside a refrigerator causes the starch molecules in the bread to recrystallize and harden, pushing out moisture and leaving you with a loaf that is dry, tough, and crumbly. The best way to store bread for daily use is in a bread box or a paper bag at room temperature, which allows for some air circulation while protecting it. If you need to store it for longer, your freezer is your best friend. Slicing the bread before you freeze it allows you to just take out what you need, and a quick trip to the toaster will bring it right back to life, stopping the staling process completely. Number 7 is honey, nature's sweetener. One of the amazing things about honey is that it never truly spoils, thanks to its low water content and natural acidity. However, putting it in the refrigerator will cause it to crystallize much more quickly. It turns from a smooth, liquid gold into a thick, grainy, solid mass. While it's still perfectly safe to eat, it becomes very difficult to scoop or pour. The ideal place for your honey jar is in a pantry or cupboard at room temperature, with the lid screwed on tight to keep out moisture. And if your honey does crystallize over time, don't throw it out. Simply place the jar in a bowl of warm, not boiling water and stir it gently until the crystals dissolve and it becomes smooth again. Number 8. For all the coffee lovers out there, listen up. Your refrigerator is a flavor killer for your coffee beans or grounds. Coffee is highly porous and acts like a sponge, absorbing moisture and odors from its source. When you store it in the fridge, condensation can form, which ruins the delicate oils that give coffee its incredible aroma and rich taste. Plus, your coffee might start tasting like last night's leftover onions or garlic. That's a morning brew nobody wants. To protect your coffee's flavor, keep it in an opaque, airtight container at room temperature, away from heat and light. Your morning cup will thank you. Finally, number 9, olive oil. Similar to coffee, the primary enemies of olive oil are heat, light, and air. While some people refrigerate it to protect it from heat, the cold temperature causes the oil to solidify and become cloudy and thick. This is harmless, and the oil will return to its liquid state at room temperature. However, this repeated chilling and warming can degrade the oil's quality over time, muting its complex, fruity flavors. The best place for your olive oil is in a cool, dark cabinet, away from the stove, with the lid screwed on tight to protect it from air and light. This will preserve its quality and ensure it's ready to use whenever you need it. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? Not everything belongs in the fridge. For many foods, room temperature storage is key to preserving their flavor, texture, and nutritional value. For seniors especially, proper food storage helps preserve those vital nutrients, enhances the taste of every meal, and ensures food safety. These simple adjustments can make a huge difference in how much you enjoy your food and the health benefits you get from it. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Senior Health Tips. We're dedicated to bringing you more science-backed ways to stay healthy, strong, and vibrant at every age. And remember, sometimes the simplest changes, like where you store your groceries, can have the biggest impact on your well-being. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.